Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to your weekly reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you're watching this reading was meant to find you. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. All right, Ace of Swords. This is clarity. This is a clear head. This is like you can see the future crystal clear. You know who you are. You know what you want. You know where you're going. You know how to get it. This is that brilliant idea that is so pure and so simple. This is the answer that you've been looking for so long. Okay? This is somebody that is kind of has stopped asking questions. Not because we know everything, not because, there's nothing left to learn in life, but maybe we realize that we don't need to keep asking questions. We just need to believe something, anything, and go after it. Believe in yourself. Go after yourself. Believe in your goal. Believe in your success, your future, your achievement. Believe in your life, right? And go after it. And I think that, this is a place within us, consciously, that we can tap into the divine realm. This sword is way above the clouds, touching outer space, right? We've gone out of the atmosphere of the earth, and we're touching we're touching outer space, and we're getting that download from the spiritual realm, from the stars, And so this is kind of like we don't need to ask questions. The universe already knows what we're asking. We don't need all of the information because the universe will provide us with what we need as we go. Now, this doesn't mean that we're not planning. It doesn't mean that you're not still learning and trying to educate yourself, right? That's different. This is that moment of clarity. Yeah. Let's bring it back down and see what we're going to do with this. See where it's going. See what you're doing. Three of Cups. You understand the process of creation on the emotional plane. You're trying to create peak experiences. You're trying to create good days. You're trying to create your own abundance and happiness. We've got a Knight of Wands, Seven of Cups in the background. Yeah, for sure. Seven of Swords up there too. That goes right along with it. And then here is a kind of Gemini energy. It's a Queen of Swords. So a good amount of swords cards here, right? Because this is someone who's asking questions. This is somebody who is doubting, or this is somebody who is criticizing themselves, trying to believe in themselves or believe in their life or believe in their goals, but there's all these other little daggers coming in that's trying to poke holes in what you believe, right? So stay in your clarity, protect yourself from this and this, stay in this and this. What's within you and what's in front of you. Don't worry about the sort of the doubt, the questions. Don't worry about the unknown hanging over your head. Don't worry about the swamp that was behind you. It's behind you now. Okay? You're tapping into some crystal clear water. You don't need that swamp anymore. You don't need that doubt. Stay vigilant against these while embracing these. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. We'll finish up putting the cards down. We're going to do the Path of the Serpent here, that Eight of Swords. But we got the Prince of Pentacles. We got the Ten of Swords, but we got the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups is progress, right? The Eight of Cups is saying, well, I had a Seven of Cups, but hey, at least I'm out of there. Things are starting to look a little bit better. Okay, the Eight of Cups is one step away from a Nine of Cups. So I find it very interesting that we have such positive energy here, that you are such an optimistic person, that you are such a believer, that you are you're confident, you're committed, you are crystal clear in your perception. This is a purity here that is untainted by this or this or this or this or even that, right? That this is, no matter what is happening around you, you're not shaking, you're not wavering in your belief in yourself and in the fact that you're going to achieve this Three of Cups, that this happiness is there. It's a potential that you are going to manifest. Okay, so I feel like this is probably, the sort of the home stretch, right? Because I feel like it starts to get a little bit difficult toward the end of the path. When you're almost at the finish line of a race, that's when your body's going to sort of hurt the most. That's when your body's really going to say, let's quit, let's quit, let's quit, let's quit. And that's the moment where you've got to push forward even harder, okay? And that's exactly what I see you doing, especially with this Knight of Wands here, fire. And that fire is the only thing that matters. Really, what you're focused on is literally just these cards. None of this stuff. Just these three. Your belief in what you are doing and what you're creating and what kind of life you're going to live. The belief in this refreshing, abundant, spiritual water that you are manifesting and the drive to get it done. This doesn't matter. This. None of the rest of this stuff matters. This is what matters to you. Okay? And this is an energy, a motivation. I feel like you're a highly motivated person right now. And I feel like it's kind of like the worse things get around you, the more challenges you get, the more people kind of let you down, or the more criticism you receive, the more fired up you get. And you're saying, yeah, go ahead, come on, give me more of it because it's gonna motivate me more. Okay? And I think that you really are creating your best life here. I feel like that Three of Cups is the abundance that we want, whether this is spiritual, creative, mental, emotional, physical, financial, whatever it is. You believe that it's part of you, and you believe without a doubt that it's going to manifest, that it is manifesting. Okay, so with that ace, it's that clarity that we don't need to ask questions, we don't need answers, we're not asking for advice. Spirit's driving us. Our motivation is driving us. I mean, you're that mountain goat. You're climbing up the hill. The goat's going to climb the mountain no matter what. Even if people say, oh, look at that silly goat climbing the mountain. The goat doesn't care. The goat doesn't even hear. The goat is just this. This is that trinity that you need right now. And the rest of the stuff, I think, is showing some of the obstacles that you've encountered, some of the other energy that is going on in your life, perhaps, and some other strategies and other energies that you might need, in some way. But this is the core of everything here, right? Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the Factor Infinite. Whoa. Volunteer. And look at that. Look at that. It's the Chariot. The Chariot, I always laugh with when we get the Cancer energy in your readings because Cancer is your opposite sign, right? And Cancer is usually the one that's very sensitive to what other people say. Very sensitive to the criticism, very sensitive to the past and gets emotional and gets very affected by the criticism or the flattery. But in your case, I feel that this energy is very fortified. That you are not sensitive at this time to what other people are telling you. You're not sensitive to the criticism that's coming in. You are devoted to that single truth of your life, that Ace of Swords, that clarity, that spiritual download, that absolute certainty and belief in yourself and belief in what you're doing, right? You have a belief in your objective and in yourself. And therefore, the path from one to the other is guaranteed. You're not worried about it. You'll learn things as you go, right? You'll gain the resources and the knowledge and experience and all this kind of stuff. The people, the places, the things that you need will be on your path when you need them. You're not worried. Yeah. Anyway, mystery card. Let's just get one down on the table. our little horse, Mr. Ed, right there. And now, we're not going to look at that card till the end. But if you want to try to predict it with me, please leave something down in the comments. Let's do it together. Yeah. Now, one thing is interesting here. When we're looking around the room, we don't see any major arcana. Because Spirit is trying to tell you that, look, you got this. You get one major arcana energy, and it happens to be just kind of a random card that pops out of the mystery card pack, right? And it happens to be your opposite sign. It happens to be your sort of alter ego. It happens to be the other half of you, right? Your kind of unconscious half. And I think it's what Spirit wants you to recognize right now. Anytime we get a major arcana energy, it's kind of like Spirit saying, look at this part of yourself. This is where you need to acknowledge something. And I think that this is supposed to bring you to an awareness that, yes, you can be immune from the bovine excrement of life, the Bravo Sierra of life, right? You can be fortified and protected. This is a very strong chariot. I like the Thoth chariot better because it's more armor. This is you going forward in your life steadily, not with blinders on and without being affected by anybody that's attacking you from the sides, anything that was behind you, and really anything that's coming in front of you. I think you're anticipating, you can see. Spirit wants you to recognize that you're fortified and protected against all of that negative energy, that nothing is pushing you off the path. It's like off the path. The chariot is traveling down the trail and people are shooting arrows at you. They're bouncing off. People are sending negative energy your way, bouncing right off of you, not actually hitting you at all. And I like that this was a random kind of card. Now, the 7, looking at the 7 of swords up at the top, this is our Ace of Swords, right? Obviously, it's the ace we have down here. But there are these other little daggers that are sort of poking holes in our sword, chipping away at our clarity. Okay, and this is something that is sort of on your mind, I think. The fact that other people have something to say about you, about what you're doing, advice, opinions, criticism. And I think that Spirit wants you to be fortified against any of that. I think some of that also can come from inside of us. We sort of do that to ourselves. We start to chip away at our own belief. We start to chip away through our own belief in ourselves, our own confidence that says, I know who I am, I know where I'm going, and I'm doing it. Sometimes we get a little down on ourselves. We say, I didn't do it today. I don't know. Maybe I'm not made for this, right? What if it's, what if I'm not supposed to do this? What if this doesn't work out? What if I fail? What if I come up short? Well, I think Spirit wants you to stay fortified against that and say, what if you do? What if you succeed? What if this is who you are, right? You're going to be much more satisfied that you tried and that you made progress and that you pushed yourself and motivated yourself rather than succumbing to any of these doubts or criticisms or whatever they might be. And sometimes these show up as distractions. Okay, sometimes we're trying to stay on the straight and narrow path. We get distracted by other things. And really those distractions, it's coming from our own mind. Because when we stop believing in ourselves, we welcome the distraction. Oh, I would love to have to go do something else because I'm scared of this path. You're not. You are focused on this clarity and on this abundance and the potential that you have, the potential that this path has for you. And so we have our major. We've got fire. We've got water, water, and water. We've got air, 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 air. A lot of air here. Okay? And of course we have our earth. And the earth energy isn't really even that important, And to me, the fire and the earth are kind of, we take them together. It says that, you have this motivation to keep building your life, right, in the environment. You're building up your life and your world, your personal reality, right? Fire to earth. It's that act of creation. This is magic. This is that spiritual electrical circuit of creation. Boom. Right? And as long as we have a pure heart and a clear mind, we are the perfect conductor of electricity between these two. Between our motivation, our will, our inspiration, and the world that we're creating. And your heart and your mind are the perfect conduits for that. Don't let any of these other cards sort of dirty up your conductor, right? We think of a conductor of electricity. Really, it's a magician energy. We don't want anything to contaminate our conductor of electricity, right? You've got either gold or silver as your conductor, right? Water's a good conductor of electricity. So this is the essential thing that we're doing, right? And we're doing it in such a pure and clear way that Spirit says if we protect that, let's put all this stuff underneath, inside that chariot. Now nothing can harm you. The past with the Seven of Cups, this can't harm you anymore. This is yesterday. Yesterday maybe we felt like we were stuck. Maybe yesterday we felt like living in this kind of, toxic swamp thing kind of energy. This was yesterday, and you're not living here anymore. You're not doing this anymore. You're not feeling quite this way anymore. Now you're feeling a pure heart, a clear mind, and you're pushing forward, fortified. So this was the mud you were stuck in yesterday. Of course, when we take that 7 and 7, right? We start to think, well, that was bad. Maybe that's all that I'm good for. Maybe that's all I'm worth. Maybe that's just the best I'm going to do in life. Or maybe I'll never get through this. Maybe I'm meant just to stay here, right? And then we start feeling guilty too. I can't believe that I stayed there. I can't believe I was in that energy. I can't believe I was just so pessimistic, right? Maybe this was a bad relationship. Maybe this was a bad job. Maybe this was just life generally just feeling like it is not good. It doesn't feel good, right? It doesn't feel good to be here. And then we start lamenting the fact that we let ourselves be there. So we're feeling guilty now about something that happened in the past, and it's keeping us trapped. We might as well still be stuck there. So this is all about controlling the mind. A lot of swords cards here. Stay focused. Stay frosty. Because those doubts, that pessimism is going to creep back in, and we're going to find ourselves kind of being pulled back to that 7 of Cups. The 7 of Cups is a feeling. It's a feeling that our lives are stuck, that we're sinking, we're in quicksand, we're in a swamp. It may be in the details of it. It may be that you were in a toxic relationship or a bad job or bad relationships, or we just, in any kind of situation in life where it just felt that we weren't making progress, we didn't believe in ourselves, we didn't feel good about ourselves or good about what we were doing. It's kind of a feeling of being lost or being stuck. And if we continue to think about that and feel guilty about that thing or that life, that energy still has a hold on us. It's still like the quicksand is still pulling you back from your progress, right? So we kind of have to wash all that off. We got to sever that connection. We got to be, that was yesterday. I'm done. I'm forgiving, but I'm not forgetting. I'm letting go of it, but I'm going to remember because I'm not going to go back there again. We have to keep a vigilant eye on our thoughts. Because we don't want these cards to conspire together and slow us down or bring us all the way back to that negative place. All right? Because that 7 of Wands, that sneaks up on you. We're here shining in this Ace of Swords, and then before we know it, we turn a corner and we're getting confronted by all of these shady figures in the alleyway, right? And we weren't prepared for that. And we didn't know they were there. And when we turn that corner in that dark alley and there's these people, these thoughts right in front of us, it's kind of like, we don't know what to do. We sort of panic or we freeze or we run or whatever it is. And we start to doubt. We start to doubt our own capabilities. And I don't want to harp too much on this, but this is above everything. This is something that's on your mind, and really it should stay on your mind. It should be at the top of the path of the dove always, to remind us that, hey, even though we're feeling this purity and this clarity and this fortification and this motivation, let's not forget about that fire underneath you. You're burning with fire. You're rushing forward in your chariot. All right? Despite all this great energy here, you always want to be on the lookout. You don't want to just be riding in your chariot with your eyes closed, just feeling the breeze on your face, right? You're not a fool in the chariot. You're a warrior. Because the fool would be there, there's wind in the face, not thinking of anything, and pretty soon, ambush, right? Well, I could have avoided that. Because if we're looking, if we're still got our head on a swivel, we're paying attention, we'll see the ambush. And the ambush is really our own thoughts, the way that we start to sort of get back into the old cycle again. And we're letting in those thoughts more and more and more. So we got to be vigilant against that, okay? And also we have to be vigilant to assess whether or not we're listening to others too much. Okay? Constructive criticism is good if we use it in the right way. If we take the criticism and we get mad, we get frustrated, or even worse, we get kind of dejected, and we think, oh, they're right. I'm terrible. You know? Somebody told me in the comments just this morning that I'm kind of out of the vibe, you know, that my readings aren't what they used to be, you know. And part of me went, oh gosh, they're right. You know, I'm terrible at what I do. I don't, you know, I have lost the vibe. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I should quit. And I started to sink into this 7 of Cups, and I said, wait a minute, no. You know, I mean, maybe there's some constructive criticism there. Maybe I do need to work on tightening things up a little bit. Maybe I do need to have a little bit more, perhaps certainty when we're speaking, you know. But that's a constructive way to use that criticism. That's saying, okay, I'm going to listen to what they're saying, and I'm going to try to use it for motivation. I'm going to try to I'm going to be better. I'm always working to improve, you know. So that's one way that we use that sort of criticism, so that we stay fired up moving forward rather than sinking back. Okay. Now in the future position, you've got another sword. It is a Queen of Swords. I think this is really, really love it with the Ace. I mean, this is kind of a rare. These are really perfect cards for you. This is a major activation, even though it looks like we have challenging cards, and we do. They're absolutely perfect, right? We have these two cards, which are about rising up above the clouds and getting in touch with that higher part of our mind, right? That believes in ourselves, that has clarity, that knows the path forward. The Queen of Wands rises above everything. Let's say you hover, 100 feet above your chariot, and you're able to see further in the distance. The further up you get, the further out you can see. There's some kind of trigonometry there. I don't know, something like that. Maybe it's geometry. I don't know. Help me out, mathematicians. I don't know what I'm talking about. The higher up we get, the further down the road we can see. And this is that idea that you have to always be anticipating what's coming. That you always have to be looking toward the future to avoid those ambushes, to see what the obstacles are, to anticipate what the challenges are going to be. Okay? And I think this is this is, again, another perfect card to have in this future position, which is saying that you're rising above even the sort of bliss and clarity that we feel here. You're still looking ahead. You're looking up to see what's kind of raining down on you, but you're looking forward into the future too, to anticipate any kind of challenges, obstacles, ambushes, right? I think that's extraordinary. I think it's perfect. Now the Queen, all the queens of the tarot, look at the past too. So kind of future and past. While we're up here, we might as well get a 360 view of our life, right? So you're looking at the past too, because you don't want to forget that 7. If you can look at the 7 of Cups and see where it is, see that swamp, see that state behind you. If you're looking behind you, you can see it getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, because you're getting further and further away. Okay. So I think that sometimes we have to do that, especially when we got that Eight of Cups at the end. And that's important because the Eight of Cups is progress. It's saying we're not living the perfect life. We're not in our paradise yet, but we're getting out of the swamp. So in order to appreciate the progress that we've been making, okay, in order to appreciate that, we've been fixing our cups, we've been filling up the water energy, and it's going to be a glorious, glorious, time, okay? The future is at hand, and we have to be able to appreciate how far we've come. So in order to accept and feel the progress and feel good, right, the Eight of Cups really can be a good feeling. Because first we have to recognize that, okay, we're in a bad spot. We were feeling stuck, we were feeling lost, we were feeling, depressive, or we were feeling inadequate or toxic, whatever it was, right? Whatever that uneasy, queasy, kind of sick feeling of the Seven of Cups is. When we get to the Eight, we realize, hey, this is getting further and further away. My cups are starting to fill up here. I'm one step away from the Nine of Cups, from living the happy life that I want to live. So it could be that right now in your life, you're putting distance between that old life. And sometimes we have to look in maybe we won't turn around. We look in the rearview mirror and we see that, hey, that swamp's getting further and further away. That old version of me, it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller in that rearview mirror because I'm making progress. And oh, that feels good. That feels really good, even though maybe we're not out of the woods yet. But it feels good, right? It feels really good. We're going to talk about the Path of the Serpent. Now, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is free and it supports the channel. I really do appreciate that. Your general energy is the interference of the Eight of Swords. And why would this be? Why would this be a general energy for you? This is the card of being tangled up in a wire of thoughts. This would be a card that says, I can't move a muscle because I'm just tied up in these Christmas lights. We're in a cartoon. Maybe this is what you are naturally inclined to do. Overthink things, overanalyze things, rather than in our purity and our clarity and our motivation, just go forward. Just keep on. This is our wagon train right here, right? This is what we're doing. Driving that chariot with motivation. This is fire on fire. This is pure air, and this is crystal clear potable water, right? This is, it's a 3, right? And 3 always represents kind of a watery energy, right? And of course, the Ace of Swords is really a double air as well. Okay, because the aces all have a bit of an association with air as the balance between the fire and the water, right? And of course, the Knight of Wands is fire and fire. So we have fire and air and water being hauled in our chariot, fueling our chariot, being sort of fortified, being driven forward by our chariot. And the reason it's the chariot, because that's your opposite sign, maybe because it is your conscious tendency to sort of overthink things right now. So we need the chariot, we need that sort of unconscious self to kind of come up and take over and drive us forward so we don't overthink it. It's kind of like the mind is saying, I don't know, just do it, This is when we're so just wrapped up in our own thoughts. We're just like, I don't know. Let's just get on the road and start driving. I don't know where I'm. It's kind of, we have to admit that if we think about things too much, we're going to sort of spiral. We're going to spin around so fast that we're going to be just tangled up in these thoughts. And so to admit that and to say, okay, subconscious or unconscious self, you take the wheel. It's kind of like we're giving Spirit the reins to the chariot. We're letting Spirit take the wheel. We're letting Spirit drive. Because the mind is mature enough to say, I don't know the plan. I don't have the answers. I don't know what I'm doing. And if I stay in my mental energy, I'm not going to move a muscle. I'm not going to go anywhere. And that's where the Ace of Swords comes in, because it rises. It doesn't try to cut through these things and figure things out. It just rises straight up out of this tangle. And maybe that means that the mind is always going to be in a tangle. We just have to rise above that, get the clarity, let Spirit take the wheel, let our Spirit take the wheel, and drive forward. no matter what, right? I like that. I think this makes sense as a general energy. Your environment is a Prince of Pentacles. It is the builder. And it is air and earth. All the princes are the air energy of the suit that they're in. The princes also are focused on the present. So right now, you are making progress, building your life, putting one foot in front of the other. You're keeping the wheel turning, however slowly it might be. You're making progress. And that's something to be proud of. That's something to feel good about. Okay? You're getting there. You're doing it. And that air, the prince relies on the architect, right? Because it's the builder. It needs the plan. It needs the blueprint. It needs the instructions. This is the hardware. It needs the software. That's where the Ace of Swords comes in. You got that software. Just keep building. What are we building? I don't know. How long is it going to take? I don't know. Do you have the full plans? No, I don't. Just keep building. Just keep doing what we're doing. Just keep going forward. Just keep turning the wheel and just don't stop. We need more distance between the Seven of Cups, right? So the builder just keeps doing it. Now, the reason why I think this is in your environment, it's, for one thing, you're constructing your world, okay? For another thing, though, I think that we're trying not to worry about what other people are doing. How are other people building their lives? That's why we're not looking at our neighbor. See, wow, they're building things that way. Maybe I should build things like that guy. Maybe I should do it the way she's doing it over here. Maybe. No. Do your own thing. Do you. Do your clarity. Do your heart. Do your spirit and soul. Do your life. Build your world. Build your personal reality. So if we're stuck between these swords, right, then we might start looking at our neighbor and thinking, well, I'm just going to do what they do. But I think that's going backwards. And maybe we can take some sort of clues from what other people are doing, but I don't think you need to do that. I think you've asked enough questions. You have enough data in your mind, right? And that's kind of an eight of swords things. We've got enough data. We don't need more data. What we need is just purity and clarity and motivation, and we need to do it, and we need to go. I think the builder, not having the plans, not having the timeline, not having the full blueprints, is allowing you to build your life in a very real, a very rich, and a very organic way. That it's not some prescription, it's not some formula, that it's real growth, and if it doesn't feel good, if the clarity isn't there, then we sort of can move. We're giving ourselves the freedom to grow and expand in a very organic way, rather than the strict rigidity of a blueprint. Okay? And that's, I think, kind of why we have a Ten of Swords in the position of what you don't want. You don't want the blueprint, because the blueprint is going to totally ruin the magic. The blueprint is going to, to ask all the questions and get all of the answers and have it printed out, turn-by-turn directions like on MapQuest, right? That's going to ruin the whole experience. That's going to ruin the magic. That's going to ruin the creativity. It's not going to be your path anymore. It's not going to be your world anymore, It's going to be a strict, rigid formula. And I think we're looking for spontaneity, for clarity and purity. And that's with the clarity and the purity and the motivation, this whole stack of absolutely essential energy for you right now. This stack is allowing you to build your life in this organic way. You don't have to go into something saying, okay, this is how we're going to go, start to finish. This is what it's going to look like. This is the wallpaper. This is the floor. This is what I'm going to wear. This is how I'm going to talk. This is what I'll say. This is, we don't have to do it that way. Right? These are the camera angles. This is what the lighting is going to be. This is the exact color temperature. This is the exact, all this stuff. No, you go into it with a pure heart and a clear head, and you just start doing it. And it is going to evolve over time. And the builder is going to keep building it, and the clarity is going to keep sort of instructing the builder. And when you get a new idea, then the builder is going to sort of do that sort of thing. We don't need a plan. And some things in life, it's worse to have a plan. Having that strict blueprint, the turn-by-turn directions, ruins the magic of driving. Having a strict recipe that you follow step by step sort of ruins the joy of cooking. It takes all the magic out of it. It takes all the creativity away, right? The idea that I could just follow these instructions and produce a perfect gumbo takes all the joy, because it takes some of the spontaneity, makes it too predictable. Even though you can follow the recipe, you still might not make the perfect gumbo, because there is that little je ne sais quoi, that little element of chaos, really, that is going to completely alter things, even when we have a plan. So too much thinking, too much mind, too much mindfulness, right? What we have here with the Ace of Swords is kind of a mindlessness, right? Less mind, less thinking, less worrying, less stress, less criticism. It's a clear perception when we look in the rearview mirror that we've gotten further away from this and we're making progress. We're almost at our 9 of Cups. It's clear when we look into the future, we can see the obstacles that are coming our way. We can see a sort of clear path. Too much mind, too much thinking really is going to ruin everything, and it's going to bring things to a screeching halt. The whole chariot is going to slow down. When the mind starts doing its thing, then this purity of our heart, then this motivation that we have, the chariot comes to a screeching and grinding halt. And that is not what we want. And then the building stops. The construction ceases. Okay. And we talked about the 8 of Cups too, which is the feeling that we're making progress. The feeling that, hey, I'm healing from this. I'm feeling better. The cups are being repaired. The water energy is starting to return. This feels good. I think it feels really good when we see we're starting to make progress. When that old life is further behind us, when we can see the good life right in front of us, and we're thinking, yeah, this feels good. Doesn't feel perfect, right? But I'm getting there, and it's motivating, and this is the good life. Just the feeling of being better or further along, even if it's just by a millimeter, hair's breadth, better or further along or healthier, whatever, than we were yesterday. Well, that's progress. Okay? Even if the chariot is moving so slowly, it's still moving. And that is progress, and that feels good for you. Whether this is a spiritual path, mental, emotional, a creative or physical, financial, whatever it is for you. The progress itself is feeling good. And we're not going to look at our neighbor and see, wow, they've gone a lot faster. They've made way more progress than me. Well, now I feel terrible. No. We're judging ourselves in our own way by the progress that we are making. I made a little millimeter of progress today. Well, heck yeah, let's celebrate. Let's feel good about that. I don't care what my neighbor did. They're different. Their life is different. Their chariot is different. Their challenges are different. Their swamp is different. It doesn't matter what they did. Be happy for them. Yay, you made a lot of progress today. I'm doing things my way for me, and today I made a little bit of progress. Tomorrow I'll make a little bit, maybe a little bit more. Let's look at our mystery card. Okay. Let's put some of these cards back where they were to prepare for our extended reading, which we will do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some of our oracle cards too during the extended. I think you should stick around. The mystery card here today may be more cups, right? If it's a 9 of Cups, then, I'll be happy. I don't know. I think maybe this will be the Devil card, your superpower card. But a 9 of Cups would be pretty right on. 7, 8, and then a 9. But we'll see. If you have a prediction, though, please put it in the comments. A 6. A 6 of Wands. This is good because I think we need a little bit more fire energy, right? Because we don't have a lot. We've got the motivation underneath everything. But what about this? This is, to me, feels like a feeling. To me, this is victory after struggle, after strife. And every day can feel like a win, right? Every day can feel like a jackpot. Every day can feel like, wow, I think the the Knight of Wands here is a major activation for you, major motivation. And I think at the end of the day, going to sleep at night, we're thinking, I kicked butt today. Maybe I just did a millimeter of progress, but that's a win, right? And let's try to go to sleep every night thinking, today was a win. Today was a win because I withstood some of those thoughts, because I saw them coming and I was able to take myself out of that. I was able to turn things around. Today was a win because I saw that Seven of Cups getting a little bit smaller in the rearview mirror. That's a win. Today's a win because I feel a little bit stronger than I did yesterday. I feel a little bit more motivated. I feel a little bit happier. I feel hopeful, optimistic. Today was a win. Every day is a win. I'm sitting here in this chair. I'm breathing oxygen. That's a win. My dad used to say every day above ground was a win, and that stuck with me, and I believe that to be true. I think this is a wonderful reading for you. I'm very happy with this card, with the spread and with the cards that you received today. We are going to do that extended reading. Click on the link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Capricorn Thursday and Sunday. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Yeah. Leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we're all in this together.